wondering if there was ever a moment that happened in the show that you were disappointed in your character.
Oh.
I mean, maybe she shouldn't have kissed Rosita. But I think she had to go through it. She had to go through that.
So that's yours? Or are you thinking of another one?
I mean, yes and no. I have mixed feelings about it. I was really surprised that it was written in that she was actually going to kiss Rosita, and there was going to be a moment there. But when I played it and when we did it, it sort of made sense. We all have moments where we're not thinking straight, and you have to go through that to then figure out the bigger lesson afterwards. So I do think she had to go through it, and it wouldn't have been this, she wouldn't be the same person she is now had she not gone through that. Other than that, I'll have a think.
Yeah. No, I was really disappointed that Nedley retired at a low point in his career. I was so disappointed that he, I didn't mind him not being able to save the kid. I didn't mind him freezing. I didn't mind him going through that low point that cops go through. I'm really disappointed that he retired right after that happened.
It was like giving up in a way.
Yeah, and it just didn't feel like the guy I was playing. It felt like a chicken thing to do. And it you know, it kind of felt like I was passing the baton because whether I thought you were ready or not, simply because I thought I couldn't do the job anymore. And I think it would say more if I knew I could still do the job and then pass the baton to someone I felt. You know what I mean? It's like, ready or not, you're up. That kind of a thing, because I can't do the job anymore. So that kind of disappointed me. And maybe that's just the way I sort of read it or felt about it. Maybe it didn't come off that way, but for me it did, as an actor.
It was very sad. You know,
yeah,
it was.
Yeah. And I don't mind the sad part. The part I didn't like was him choosing that moment to say, okay, it was like giving up. And everything I've read about Nedley, it just speaks to me. He speaks to me as a man who doesn't give up. So I just had trouble making sense out of that, that's all.
I think I was disappointed in Nicole for opening Waverly's DNA results. I think I can identify with that in her as a person who just so badly wants to help. I think the tendency to overstep without really realizing you're doing it, but without also checking yourself and being like, I probably shouldn't do this, or I should talk to her about it first. I think it was a decision made out of love, but I think she should have done a little bit more reflecting on it before she did that. Yeah.
Thank you.
So for Dominique and Greg, can you guys tell us a real life person or a fictional character that you'd like to meet if you could, and what you would ask them? And then for Kat, sort of similar, what would you ask Bernie if he could answer?
Yeah, what would I ask Bernie if he could answer? So many. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Because why are you afraid of the rain? Why? It doesn't always mean thunder. Bernie has had this, he hates thunder, but now he's associated rain with thunder. And man, oh man, is it hard to dog psychology your dog. Because how do you make it rain so that you can train the dog to, it's just a very complicated thing. we were out for a walk the other day, and I looked at the forecast, being like, is it going to rain in the next hour? No, it's not. Okay, we can do it. And just a couple drops, and I had to carry him the rest of the way home. So thank goodness he's small enough that I can carry him, because he just shuts right down. And I would love to say, and I would also love to tell him that oh man, I'm emotional today. I'm usually not like this. But I'm coming back when I leave. I promise I'm coming back, because he gets so anxious. I feel so bad. But also, please stop being afraid of the rain. It's really hard to manage. And it doesn't always mean thunder. That's what I would love to say.
Just the first thing that came to my head is Bo Peep in Toy Story 4. Has anyone seen it? Not yet.
Oh yeah.
She's so cool. She's so cool. And can we go traveling together? That's pretty much.
Oh, I didn't understand the question, and I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry. What's the question?
Just a real life person or a fictional character that if you could meet them, what would you ask them?
Oh. Buster Keaton, I would just ask him if I could be his apprentice for a week. Buster Keaton. I don't know if I have questions for Buster Keaton, but I'd love to watch him work. I would like to know how he put everything together. I just remember Buster Keaton running off the roof of a building. This is something I've always wanted to do. I know it sounds crazy, but silent movies, man. You have a building, you have train tracks beside the building, and there's a crossing to stop the cars. It's a barrier, and it's up. And Buster Keaton would run across the top of the building, grab that thing, and as a train was going, he would ride it down and hit the ground running. And I went, well,
Really?
I would like to do that. And how did they do that in the movies in those days? All those physical stunts. They didn't have any help from computers then. So, Buster Keaton, I'd like to talk to him for a bit.
Thank you.
Good morning, you guys.
Good morning.
So this actually comes from Georgie. And first off, she is in her final year of film school. And she says, how special has it been to watch the fandom and the crowds at a convention like Dragon Con grow over the past 3 years?
I think I can speak for everyone to say that it's really hard to put into words the experience that we've had throughout this, and obviously because we talk about it a lot, there's such a fear of it not seeming genuine, because we talk about it all the time, like how much we love you guys, and so when you say that you love something multiple times, it seems to take away the magic from it, doesn't it? Because you repeat the same things, and it's the second or third time you may have said it, so it doesn't feel as sincere. But it's just like, you see what I mean? But it's incredible, and it keeps surprising me, and I keep thinking, when is there going to be an end to this? Because it just keeps seeming to grow more and more, and everyone keeps seeming to come and turn up and give so much more each time, and take leaps of faith and overcome their own fears and insecurities, which in turn inspires everybody else to. So I feel like as a fan base, you're gaining so much strength and not having as much fear to sort of speak out about what you love. And then of course Fight for Wynonna came, and it's just become like this ball of sort of energy that seems to be taking over the world, or certainly taking over, our lives. And yeah, just the gratitude that I have personally just keeps getting even more and more immense. And long may it continue. I don't know. Do you guys want to chime in? Because you're just sitting there. I'm like, I'm saying words, but I'm not.
I don't know about the drag because this is my first time here, but I agree with everything Dom said. It's just overwhelming for me, and it's hard. It's hard to find the words to do it justice. It's hard to find the right words to express the feelings that we feel. So, I don't try because I don't want to screw it up. It's just there aren't any. I haven't been able to find the words. It's overwhelming. I'm convinced that this show is more about the Phantom than it is about the show at this point. That first day you walk on set, I remember the interview. I mean this. The pressure's on because some sweet girl gave me some socks at a convention, and I sit on set going, "Oh, geez, I can't screw this up," because of those socks.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. So my question is kind of, as actors and actresses in this show, and maybe what has been in this show, what have you been able to do that you thought, I'll never do that in a million years if I wasn't being part of this show?
Kind of like opportunities that have come.
Opportunities that have come to you that you would never have.
That's an easy one for me. I'm doing it right now.
And we're so glad you are.
So many things. The beautiful thing about playing in sci-fi is there's always something crazy where you're like, whoa, yeah, that wouldn't have been possible if not for the genre or something like that. I mean, I would second what Greg says, especially as a Canadian actor. I think I didn't even know these things existed. Like, I was so unaware that this was even a possibility for anything out there. So this has been, I mean, again, no words to describe the journey that this has brought into our lives. But then there's also fun things, like I still remember the day we were doing the Revenant battle, and they lit that flaming tire, and they rolled it past us, and we're like, oh, okay, go. And that was like, I had a moment like Edith. I was like, this is awesome! You know what I mean? And all these guys, and there's fighting, and there's smoke, and the cameras are winding everywhere. And those are the things that you dream about as a kid. Like, when you're playing in your backyard, those are all the things that are going on around you in your head. But then it actually happens, and you're like, oh my God, like, this is so cool. And wow. Yeah. It's just so, there's things like that are just so fun. Yeah.
I second all of that. Of course, traveling the world to meet all of these amazing people is high up on my list. But then, sort of coming off that is, I don't think I would have had the opportunity to start the wave. And that has given me such a sense of purpose and understanding what my own sort of belief system is and my own philosophies, and will continue to give me such amazing direction. And I think that without this fan base, without all of that, I would never have come to that, which has been a massive gift for me as well, because it's sort of helped me figure out who I am and what I can bring to the table, hopefully, moving forward. So yeah, just all of the above and so much more. This show has completely changed my life. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello. Which gift would you give to your character? You as a person?
I think I'd like to pay for her to get a really rad tattoo. I think she'd really like that. Like, it might be something that she may not get for herself or something. And
yeah, like Waverly.
I don't know, I think it'd be really cool. Sometimes people secretly really want something, but like they're not gonna do it. But if somebody got them the gift, they would totally do it. I think it would be like a sleeve or something really cool. Yeah.
You came up with the amazing thing. Remember there was
Yes.
like the lights. I don't know where we
Lights,
were.
it was like the fading
rainbow with
sunset of
fruits
the
coming up.
forest. So I feel like that's something she wouldn't do for herself, but if a friend got it, she'd be like, okay.
You don't think she'd do it for herself?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, maybe. I feel like she's just like, I don't know, would be like, I don't have time. I got other things I gotta focus on. I'd rather like spend it on a trip with Waverly or like take us somewhere.
I don't think we have much money, do we?
I don't think there's nobody working at the police department. To come back. Nobody.
Come back, champ.
Somebody.
I don't know. I think Nedley definitely has a tattoo.
Oh yeah. What does he have?
Welcome to Purgatory. Welcome to Purgatory. Yeah, I heard you. What would... I think he's trying to do it now, like something that he would want, but he wouldn't normally do it for himself. I think he's taken a vacation now, and I don't think he's had one. I think everything's building up to this vacation. Do I think he's going to enjoy it? No. But he's doing it anyway. He's got the shirt. You know, he has it planned. I hope he doesn't get to do it. But I think he would, yeah, deep sea fishing.
Deep sea fishing.
Yeah, because that's super expensive.
Yeah.
He's probably some bass fisherman that just fishes in lakes and stuff, but any fisherman's had that secret desire to go out in a boat and, you know, do the Jaws thing.
The one where you like have to strap yourself in.
Yeah, you
with
strap
a
yourself in the
harness
chair, but it's super duper expensive, and you got to go to Florida, Key West, the Keys, do the Hemingway thing. Yeah.
I think I'd buy Waverly a lock for her bedroom. Probably about time, isn't it?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lindsay. I'm very new to the Earper world. So
Welcome to the family. Here on a Monday, backstage from serious.
sorry, my question's not quite as fun as the last one. More on a serious note. The episode Jolene with you, Dom, was very impactful for me. And I lost a friend last year to suicide, and it's a very traumatic and hard thing to go through. So I just wondered, for your part, how you really prepared for that and maybe researched and how that impacted you moving forward in the mental health world and all that.
I'm sorry that you have been through that, and I'm sorry. I also lost someone to suicide in my life, and it's one of the hardest things I've ever tried to get my head around. Sorry. Got this. Jolene was extremely important for me as well, as an individual, because I can relate to those horrible voices in your head that warp reality and tell you a narrative that is extremely unuseful. And I think it was really important that it was Waverly, out of all of the characters, that portrayed that, because sometimes the people with the biggest smiles on the outside are struggling the most on the inside, I think. And that was certainly my experience with the person that I lost to suicide. And so it brought up a lot, playing it. I think I didn't realise to what extent it was going to have an impact on everyone else, and to be completely honest, I took it really quite literally when I was working on it, in terms of the mythology that was going on. I was literally saw it as a demon, and I just sort of decided that I was just going to let my voices play out in my head for the duration of that episode, and relate to the voices telling you that you're not good enough, and all the reasons why, and just kind of sit with those voices and try and portray them in the best way possible. It was really difficult. I sort of felt like I wasn't sure whether I was well enough equipped to portray it well, and to sort of, I just didn't really know. It was a very weird episode. I didn't really know what to think about it, how to think about it. I just sort of had to trust in the process of just doing it, and letting myself go there and sort of see what happened. And I'm just really glad that it seemed to help people. That was just the biggest gift after everything that we did, was just like looking back and going, oh no, of course it was talking to mental health in such an incredible way, and how lucky we are to have a show that talks about these subjects that are so important that we're not talking about enough. I don't think I answered your question.
Yes.
I just sort of cried and then didn't know what to do. But yeah, it was I just think extremely important thing, and thank you. I'm glad that it spoke to you as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have just a couple of minutes left, so I thought that I would go ahead and ask you another question, if that's okay, since we got through them. And what would you say you think that your character's main contribution to the show thus far has been? Main contribution to the storyline, to the show as a whole. What
I think Natalie probably is a stabilizing force, like it's something to anchor reality or a normal town. He's kind of reminds you that there are normal people in the town.
Yes.
So maybe he provides that perspective, just being around, to all the mayhem and supernatural stuff going around.
I think in a similar way, Nicole is a nice stabilizing force too, which has been quite nice to have, especially that. I also think Nicole's very much, for me anyways, who's a character I watched, serving in this like traditionally masculine role where we usually see men playing these kind of like up and coming sheriffs, and still bringing that same kind of like, I hate using the words masculine energy because what does that even mean, but like, I just think she's been such an amazing example of, I still remember getting